Good morning. It's the Call Flo Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the Call Flo Radio Show for your Thursday, this May the 15th. I'm Chris Wood. We're going to ask you to hold off on your calls for the first part of our program because we do have a special guest in our Francis E. Wood studio, but he's no stranger to the microphone. It's Brian Vincent, Mayor of Farmville. And good morning, Brian.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. You're looking spiffy today.
That's right. You know, I finally caught on that y'all are posting videos of these appearances, so I decided I could no longer show up in my workout attire and that I needed to be a little more professional.
Well, you know, you look good anyway.
I
You
appreciate
could wear a gunny sack and you look good. But anyway, so town council, of course, had its meeting.
Yes, ma'am. We had our meeting last night. It was relatively short. We did have a public hearing on the budget, so FY 2025-2026 budget. And a public hearing on the capital improvements plan, which comes out every year with the budget. It's usually like a 5-year capital improvements plan. It outlines all the projects that are hopefully going to get done throughout the next 5 years.
That's a pretty thick book.
Yes, it is. Well, it involves like all the paving, all the maintenance stuff. So, but it also involves some treats and things in there that you hope some of them are aspirational, and you hope you'll find funding in the years to come to get there, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So we had a public hearing. We had 2 speakers. Once again, I've said this, I think every time I've come on this show and talked about the budget, people don't show up to talk about the budget.
They don't like to talk about money.
Well, nobody shows up to talk about the budget is, as we say, like in government, the budget shows the priority of your government, right? Because it's where it's going to spend money. And it's spending taxpayers' money. And folks just don't show up for those meetings. And, you know, we had a few people show up. We had 2 people speak. One person from the rescue squad, Prince Edward Rescue Squad. Ms. Broadwater spoke about a concern about there being a cut in the allocated funds in the budget for the rescue squad from the town. And so we kind of got into that conversation later during the finance report section of the agenda. When our finance director, Ms. Julie Moore, spoke about our April finances, she also had in there the year-to-date total that we believe we've spent on the rescue squad. So there was a few years where the rescue squad was struggling a little bit, and the town and a bunch of other stakeholders set up a 3-year plan to fund some of the rescue squad stuff and get them an executive director, get them back on track. That happened.
That's good.
And then the town stopped giving the $30,000, but started offering to do all the fueling, all the equipment upgrades, provide free labor for doing the work on the vehicles, all that on the town's dime. And so year to date, this past year, we've spent roughly the amount of $40,000, I think $900 something dollars. So we've gone over that 30, which is fine. We're more than willing to do that. Because it helps the rescue squad. They were concerned because in the equipment line item, I believe there was a cut from 25 threshold spend to 20 or something around there. I had to go back and look. But mainly that was due to the fact the town administration, the town manager, and the finance director had gone back through all previous years and looked and assessed that they'd never reached that $25,000 mark. And so you end up budgeting it, and then it sits there and it doesn't get used.
Right.
So let's move that money somewhere else. And that. So with that said, if they were to need additional services past that mark and it was warranted, the town's not going to say no for all intents and purposes. So in my mind, it's kind of like that. Things are still the same as they were. And the town still contributes a significant amount to the rescue squad. The rescue squad is the Prince Edward County Rescue Squad, so it's also funded by levies on personal property tax on the county side. which, as all town residents are county residents, they also pay that. So they do pay into the Prince Edward County Rescue Squad in that fashion. On top of that levy money that the Rescue Squad gets, they also get $98,000, I think, is budgeted last year and this year from the county to the Rescue Squad. So, their budget is significantly bigger than ours, and so them giving $98,000 versus our much smaller budget and giving $40,000 worth of services and work and labor, I think is
good
we're
trade-off.
doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we had a second commenter, Mr. Barton, who is actually somewhat of a neighbor of mine in my area, came and spoke, and he dovetailed a little into like national politics a little bit, which is something I'm always wanting to stay out of on the local level. But then asked kind of a general question of how the budget happens, like who makes the decision about what's in there. And so I'll answer that a little bit now, and then, I'll reach out to him in the future. But I do want to stop here. And one of the comments that you often see for folks who aren't used to government interactions in those public hearing, public comment spaces is that people expect there to be like a call and response between the speaker and the elected members.
Right.
And that's not what it's designed for. A public comment or a public hearing is a opportunity for the public to come speak their mind and for the elected body to hear them.
Listen, yeah.
Yeah, and just to hear what their opinion is. It's not a call and response Q&A section.
Right.
One, that can often lead to elected members kind of ad hoc speaking back, and you don't always have accurate information, and so it can lead to misleading information and wrong information. The other side of that I'm always concerned about, as I've been in office here now a while, and I've had experience with very long public comment periods where you got 2 hours of public comments, and they're hot and contested items. If you were to have call and response between each one, you're starting to eat away at future people's time to comment. And so you want to be respectful of everybody's time and give everybody equal opportunity to speak. And then if you call in response to certain people but don't call in response to others, then it feels unfair and a little biased. And so it's just best if elected bodies don't get into that. Instead, public hearing, public comment periods are for the public to come speak their mind to that body as a whole. The body then takes that in. And if there are pressing questions, that can be answered later to circle back to them with good, accurate information. I will say, being on the board at DWR, I've been through 2-hour public hearings about like private property owners versus dog hunters. And it gets very contested. And yeah, if you were to interject into those, then obviously, and I've seen it happen sometimes because people will lose their cool and kind of.
Oh yeah.
And then everybody's
They
losing
make
their
rash-
cool.
they make
and
rash
yeah,
statements.
everybody's losing their cool and they're making bad statements, and it just gets ugly. So anyway, Mr. Barton's concern was, how's the budget come about? I have a budget timeline that I'll send him, but it's basically, the budget season starts in January. The department heads from Farmville department heads from public safety, public works, etc., start coming to the town manager and the finance director with asks where, what their needs are, what their wants are. You start figuring out what revenues might look like, projection revenues for taxes, for meals taxes, for business, retail sales, all that stuff. And then you start massaging that to try and line it up, because our budgets have to budget out balance. And then through that process, the council starts getting involved as things start popping up. And then once it gets kind of balanced and a little more formalized, it comes out publicly to the council, who then gets to decide ultimately what stays in, what comes out. But it's a 4 to 5 month process.
I'm sure.
So there's department heads, town administration, council members who are all shaping that, right?
Right.
And throughout the process, of course, the public has the option to always come to a council meeting, speak at public comment about whatever things they would like to see in it. So, yeah, that's a generalized answer to that question. The elected body is the ultimate folks who decide. As a representative government, people elect these folks to get up there and make these decisions. They do it by taking input from the citizens, input from the town administration, and their own mental thought process to hopefully come to a conclusion of what direction they should go. And then you got to then bounce that off the other elected officials who are up there and try and get consensus.
I'm tired already.
Yeah. so that's the general basis of that.
Goodness.
So so Mr. Barton's question last night, it's like it's a nuanced, lengthy question about like how government works. Which is great, but it's not something you call and response get into. It's something. It's like, okay, yes, thank you for coming. Ask a question. I'll respond to you with give you a timeline and show you how it all breaks down. So we did that, and then we had our finance report. Like I said, we talked about April finances. We also talked about retail sales. It looks like restaurants and the grocery store are still doing well as we go through 2024, but other retail sales outside of automotive sales were a little down, and that's something that's been happening since 2022. Wow. And I know I felt it in our business, a tightening, people spending less money.
Well, there was still the aftermath of COVID.
There was, yes,
coming in. And
everybody spent a lot of money during COVID, actually, at least in my sector. And I think people spent a lot of money on outdoor furniture and things like that made their lives a little more bearable during those times. But then, you see a downward drop after the big spike. And so you got to pay attention to that as we talk about inflationary pressure and you talk about the pressures that are happening with tariffs, things like that. You just got to start thinking about what does this look like for the next few years. So it's something to keep in mind. Our business dollars have continued to increase. Contractors, wholesale merchants, hotels, that stuff has continued to go up incrementally. And so just always good to review the last 5 years, try and project what's going to happen for the next few years, figure out what's going on. And so that was the finance report. And then I don't think we really had much after that. Mr. Doug Stanley, county administrator, was there at the very beginning of the meeting. He walked us through the county's business that they've been doing lately, and I'm sure he'll be here.
He'll be here tomorrow.
To go through all that, so I won't steal his thunder and take any of that. And then, that was it. We didn't have any other business. The town manager did announce that we have a new public works director who's been hired. And he will start June 1, so we're coming up there. Mr. Robin Atkins. I know another Robert Atkinson. Robin Atkinson. Robin is retired.
Oh yeah.
And he is doing like some part-time work, but we needed to hire a new.
He's done a great job.
He has, absolutely. He's been a very dedicated servant to the town for a long time and has always done an amazing job. Yes, Stephen Edwards will be the new public works director. He's got 20 years of public works experience in the private and public sector, so look forward to welcoming him to town. And then outside of that, I don't know that there was any pressing news. The Citizens Police Academy just graduated another class this past week.
Francis loved that.
Everybody loves it.
He just, he really, I think he took it twice.
Yeah, a lot of people take it multiple times. Yeah, and it's awesome because we do have such a dedicated police force full of people of integrity, and so it's really cool when citizens have interest in.
Well, I hope they had a large class.
They had a good class. It's starting to drop a little bit. This is a conversation that one of the detectives and I had out in front of my business actually within the last few weeks, and just seeing, there's still this residual effect of all that social unrest from a couple years ago where, people don't hold the position of police officer in the same regard they used to. And it's unfortunate because there are good people in that profession, like true heroes, people of integrity, who serve well in their communities. And like the detective and I were talking about, he was like, this is a great place to live and work. Like, it's a great place to do this. And he was like, you grew up and like police officers were seen as these upstanding members of society, these heroes. And now it's like kids are just reticent to get into it. Mm-hmm. And it makes me sad because it is a good line of work and it's an honest line of work and it's protecting your community. And we have so many great officers here in our area.
I saw the signs up that you were recruiting.
Yep.
They were recruiting the police department. Yeah.
So anytime, citizens show up for that Citizen Police Academy and go through the process, it's great. And I appreciate them doing so.
Well, it educates them as well,
absolutely.
And they can, by word of mouth, just get out there. Excuse me. They can just get out there and actually feel like, that they can spread the word.
That's right. Exactly. It becomes like almost a recruitment tool in itself because it allows community members to learn how the police force operates and speak to it to other folks, which is great. Our finance director, Miss Julie Moore, just recently graduated. Somebody really wants to get a hold of you.
They really want to get in touch with me, and I just can't talk to them right now. So,
Miss Julie Moore, our finance director, recently graduated with a master's in public administration, which is great. She's used to be in the private sector, working as one of the audit firms that we use to audit the town finances. Mm-hmm. And so this is a continuation of her arc in public service, which is great. Commendable to her to get that work done on top of the work that she does for the town, because she is one of the best hires that the town manager has made. And then on a personal note, I was recently asked to serve this coming year as the vice chair for the Virginia Municipal League's legislative committee.
Wow.
So I've served on that legislative committee for the last 2 years. And this year they asked if I would, the president and the director asked if I would serve as vice chair, which is a great honor. And once again allows me to continue shaping policy from our level, bringing Farmville's voice to the table to shape policy that we want to see at the state and federal level. And so a lot of times you're trying to create policy, especially around like grant accessibility and those sort of things that are hard for small rural towns to tap into. Like the barriers of entry there are often too high and too complicated for a locality like us that is strapped for cash or strapped for human capital, even like the ability of people power.
Seems like you almost have to have a separate education for filling out and getting those grants.
Exactly. And so being involved and at the table to discussing policy, not only about policy around speed cameras and a myriad of other things that are important at the local level, but even for me about those processes of getting some money to trickle down to some of these local rural areas to help out. So I look forward to that work in the future. That does segue me to a big fun thing, which is the Virginia Municipal League's Small Towns Conference. Will be here in Farmville.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The first week of June. So they had the first inaugural one last year in Abington, Virginia, and it was great. A bunch of us went. It was one of the best conferences from Virginia Municipal League we'd gone to because it spoke directly to us as small towns, and really enjoyed it. And then this year, a couple months, maybe a month or two ago, VML reached out and said, hey, Abington's kind of dropping the ball a little bit here. We'd love to come to Farmville. And I was like, oh, man, we'll make that work.
Well, you're also centrally located, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So got in touch with the university, who's been great to work with. Wine Oak's going to house people. We'll do some stuff at the Wine Oak and at the university. And we'll have like around 150 elected officials, placemakers from across the Commonwealth who will come here. We'll get to show them what Farmville is all about, and also just have ideas circulating in town, which is a great opportunity.
That's just fantastic.
I know Farmville has hosted a number of different conferences and activities, but this is another opportunity for us to showcase that we can do it, and that we're a viable option for people in the future looking to hold such events.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, anything else that you want to add? Like the traffic circle, as they I keep looking for
I can't wait
some
till that starts happening and people just get fired up. Yeah, that is still on the horizon. Once
I keep
again,
waiting to see some.
see some movement.
See some
We're
action
getting
over
closer. We're getting closer to that, and we're getting closer to movement on the Chipotle. So there will be movement there. You've seen movement up near Food Line with the Harbor Freight, not Harbor Freight, but with Five Below.
Yes.
Yes, that's on its way. Harbor Freight, which is in the county, is actually getting ready to open. Their grand opening's on the 20th. That's Doug will talk about that tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, Five Below is getting off the ground. Chipotle is about to start getting off the ground, and the roundabout will happen here soon, and so we'll have lots of activity going on.
Oh yeah, lots of good stuff.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and giving us an update
rundown.
on what's
Absolutely.
going on.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all having me.
Well, we appreciate you coming in and giving us all this great information.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have a great day.
You too.
All right. Take care. All right. That was Brian Vincent. He is Farmville's mayor and is doing a great job with all of those fine people working with him to make Farmville a great place to live. All right. And as we're talking, I've got Noah Massage in with me.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
I was trying to really reach Brian Vincent there a little bit ago.
Oh, you
on the phone?
Oh, maybe. What were they?
Didn't you hear the phone call or
No, I
the
didn't. Yeah, I saw the line, but I thought it was somebody else.
Oh no! I mean, like Brian on his ringtone went
Oh,
off
it's
a couple of
ringtone.
times.
That was my ringtone.
Oh, that was your ringtone. That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, somebody's trying to. I think it might have
it
been
happens.
somebody who was trying to reach out and tell me, set up an appointment for my surgery on my wrist.
Oh, got you.
But
Yeah.
we'll see.
How's that
I'll
going,
come
by
back.
the way? How's your wrist feeling?
Well, I'm not
Is it
feeling
still
too good.
Still hurting? Yeah.
I'm going to have the left one done first.
Okay.
But I talked with the doctor yesterday, and he got my test results from Midlothian, the doctor there, Dr. Clark, and it's pretty bad, actually. So, I'm going to go ahead and get it done. I'll be glad.
Yeah.
That maybe I can sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this stuff wakes you up.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It is 8:30. We're at the bottom of the hour.
Okay.
Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We've got some business to take care of, like our weather forecast. And the weather forecast is brought to you by Harold W. Collins Clearing and Grading. They're located at 2113 Cumberland Road in Farmville.
Harold W. Collins Clearing and Grading has been helping to build Southside and Central Virginia since 1960, providing all excavation, general contracting, and hauling needs. 5 miles north of Farmville, 2113 Cumberland Road, at the intersection of 45 and Range Tavern Road. Call 392-6010 or stop by Harold W. Collins Clearing and Grading.
The WFLO forecast for Southside and Central Virginia. We're going to see some areas of fog possibly coming in, so please be aware of that. Then becoming mostly sunny. We should see a high today around 84 degrees. For tonight, look for around a 20 to 30% chance of some thunderstorms and a slight chance of showers as well. Look for a low of 65 degrees. On Friday, partly sunny with a 30% chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Look for a high of 89 degrees. Friday night, we'll see a 30% chance of thunderstorms, otherwise partly cloudy with a low of 69 on Saturday. A 20% chance of some thunderstorms, otherwise partly cloudy with a high of 88 degrees on Saturday night, mostly clear with a low of 62. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high around 83 degrees. Let's see. Let's check our conditions here. Our barometer's falling just a tad at 29.89 inches. We do have 89% humidity. Let's see. The winds coming in from the south-southwest are pretty light, around 3 miles per hour. And outside, our skies are still kind of cloudy. And we had a low this morning was 63. We're now warming up to 66 degrees out there. That's your weather forecast brought to you by Harold W. Collins Clearing and Grading. Give them a call at 434-392-6010. All right, we have our birthday calendar coming up. That's brought to you by Creative Electrical Contractors, located at 1907 East 3rd Street in Farmville.
Creative Electrical Contractors specializes in commercial and industrial projects and offers quality work at competitive prices. CEC is a licensed Class A contractor in Virginia and North Carolina. Creative Electrical Contractors has been in business for 25 years, still committed to the values that were established when the company opened in 1998. Integrity, quality workmanship, and timely delivery. CEC, located at 1907 East 3rd Street, Farmville. You can contact CEC at 434-392-3802 or at creative-electrical.com.
All right, that is our signal for us to, I'll hand over the microphone to our Noah Massage. He's going to tell us who's celebrating today. Noah?
Chris, how you doing?
Doing all right.
All right. We got some birthdays. I don't see any anniversaries, but we have several birthdays, and I'll start off with Jordan Haga Morris celebrating a birthday today. Jordan Haga Morris. Also, Jaden Gunn celebrating. W. Matthew Hutchins having a birthday as well. Dakota Boghan.
What is it?
Baughhan. Boghan.
Bon.
Okay. And also celebrating on the birthday calendar, we have Norma Williams of Farmville will be turning 94.
Happy birthday to Norma.
Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely.
She's a fantastic lady, by the way. Anyway, so tell everybody how they can put their names on the birthday calendar for us.
Sure thing. So they can call in 434-394-0924. They can also email us at birthdays@wflo.net, or they can go to our website. On our website, under the on-air mentions page, they can submit birthdays directly from the website. So a couple of different ways of getting birthdays to us,
Okay, all right. The birthday calendar brought to you by Creative Electrical Contractors. If it's not right, they're going to make it right.
They will.
Call 434-392-2802. All right, Noah, how you doing there?
Doing well. Doing
All
well,
right,
Chris.
all right.
Yeah, had a good night. The open mic went pretty
Open
well.
mic,
Yeah,
good.
very well. Mhm.
Good. And so everything went okay over the weekend and all that good stuff?
I think so, for the most part. Yeah. It was pretty good weekend,
Mother's Day and all that
Yeah,
good stuff.
yeah.
All right, well...
I went to sorry.
Go ahead.
I went to the name is escaping me at the minute, but
Okay.
the park in Richmond, the nice why can I not think of this? Is terrible. This
Maymont?
Yes, Maymont. Okay. I literally right before I was going to say, it was coming out of my mouth and then I forgot it. Ugh.
You're not the only one
That's
happens
terrible.
to.
I hate that.
No, Maymont.
Yeah, Maymont. That's a great park.
It
Excellent. Me and I went there with Katie. We petted some goats and saw the donkey who has been there for over 20 years at this point.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
What was the donkey's name?
Yeah, I asked Katie that, but she didn't. I mean, we didn't know. There was no sign,
but
no, but it does have a name, for sure. I'm sure it does.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
And
the donkey
I made
with
you
no
supper.
name.
I made you supper.
Yeah,
I did.
Supper for breakfast. That is.
No.
Oh,
I
you want me to
and
take
Katie,
that back?
Yeah,
really?
want you to take
Wow.
it. You guys take it back and enjoy it.
We'll definitely give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that it smelled. I took a sniff of it today. It was
that was the Marry
good.
Me shrimp pasta.
Yeah.
So
You put some feta in there, I see.
I
and
did.
Used the rigatoni, which is classy.
And then Itchy got a hold of the carton after I'd finished using it and everything, and she loved it as well.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, she licked the whole, there wasn't anything left in it, but
Yeah.
the smell was there.
But that doesn't say much because Itchy does eat everything.
Well, yeah. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good morning. You're on the Call Flo Show.
And so are you, my dear.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. I may not be all here, but I'm here. What's left of me.
Well, we hope so.
You know, in the Bible, Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the truck driver looked back, turned into a telephone pole.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
I thought he
But
would
God-
have turned into a pillar of pepper.
Oh.
I missed that.
Go ahead.
You
Say it
know,
again.
Oh,
Noah.
no, I'm sorry. I just said I thought he would have turned into a pillar of pepper. Salt and pepper.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. God told Lot to take his wife and flee.
Yeah.
She turned into a pillar of salt, but what happened to his flea?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Anyway, the lady didn't go to the racetrack very often, but horsemen knew her.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a preacher and his assistant holding up a sign outside of their church. And everybody that drove by, they would wave that sign at them. And the sign said, "The end is near."
Mm-hmm.
So this one fellow came driving along, and he let his window down and slowed up so he could read the sign. And when he read it, he yelled at him and said, "You bunch of hypocrites." And he gunned the motor and took off down the road. And they went around a curve, and about 3 or 4 seconds later, there was this terrible crash. And the minister looked at his assistant and said, "Maybe we ought to change our sign from 'the end is near' to make it read 'the bridge is out.'"
Yeah. That would be good. That would be.
That would probably be good,
Probably
yeah.
be good.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard about it, but there was a midget in the military. And he must have been a midget because he was charged with sleeping on his watch.
That's too corny, Henry.
Yeah. And there was a guy who donated a loudspeaker in his wife's memory.
Oh. Okay. We got it.
That, Yeah. Somebody asked, they gave this guy a neighborhood improvement award. And somebody asked him, "How did you improve your neighborhood?" He said, "We moved out of it." Yeah. And, one time I was mowing grass at home, and I accidentally cut the cat's tail off.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah. So I took the cat to Walmart, and because they're the world's greatest retailer.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, right.
That's what they say.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I wanted to do something a little different this morning.
Okay.
Tuesday, May 13th, at 7 a.m., it had been raining overnight, and my basement apartment here at Christie's house had some leakage.
Mm-hmm.
The local forecast said it would rain all day with rain totals of 4 or 5 inches.
Oh, wow.
Well, that would cause a lot of problems. So around 7:30 that morning, my voice rebuked Satan and the rainfall, commanding the rainfall to stop in Jesus' name. All right? I wrote this at 9:30 that day. There'd not been one drop of rain since 7:30 that morning. And then I wrote, it is now 5 p.m. at the end of the day that day. Not a drop of rain today when 5 or 6 inches were predicted. On Wednesday, the 14th, at 12 noon, TV 13 reported their rainfall on Tuesday was over 4 inches, during which time the total at Chris's house was 0. And Wednesday night, the rainfall here for the last 2 days is 0.
Wow.
And yet during that time, 4 and 5 and 6 inches fell in the city of Lynchburg.
That's pretty amazing, miraculous,
That is amazing.
Yes, it is. Wow.
I was sharing that story with my therapist a couple of days ago, and they said you should put that on the radio. So,
Yep.
anyway, that was quite an amazing thing.
Yes, it was.
Do we have time for one little story?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
In the 1950s, Jimmy Forbes owned and operated a car lot. It was on West 3rd Street, Farmville, about a block from Main Street. In 1956, I bought a 1947 Dodge from him. Bill Lewis Morris worked there, and he had married Sandra Forbes Moss. All right. Anyway, the following spring, I emceed an event at Buckingham Central High School. That event was over around 9 p.m. So I started back to Farmville. I had made my way on past Sprouser's Corner when I saw lights flashing from under my car. So I pulled off the road and got out, and I saw flames coming from all under the car, from one end to the other. So I stood there helplessly and watched the fire burn. Suddenly the fire just stopped on its own. So I got back in the car, turned the key, the motor cranked instantly. So I got in it, put in gear, drove on back home in Farmville. And I said, well, praise the Lord, that was a miracle. And could be a reminder to anybody who is not saved about a fire that's waiting, according to the Word. And so that was a miracle. I don't know what made the car stop burning or anything else, but it was a miraculous thing.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah. That would get your attention, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, my number is 414-0096. If anybody would like to call and share a story with me or talk to me about whatever.
Okay, it sounds great.
Okay, we hope to talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, Henry, you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All
God
right,
bless.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What did you think about that?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting. That's right. Our time is 8:46. We've got plenty of time to take another call at 434-394-0924.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Let's check this day in history.
Sure.
Why not? Okay. On this date, this is our featured event. In 1991, Edith Cresson of the Socialist Party became the first female premier of France, but she lost the office less than a year later because of rising unemployment and declining support from within her party. So There you go. 2003, American singer and songwriter June Carter Cash, a leading figure in the country music, especially noted for her work with the Carter family and Johnny Cash. She died in Nashville. She's a legend. She'll be missed. Yeah.
Wildwood Flowers, I think. What was the song that the Carter family did? Wildwood Flower, I think.
Could be, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, we've got a caller. So, good morning. You're on the Call Flo Show.
Good morning. Is this the Trading Post hotline?
They've been playing that little tidbit there for...
That's all John's doing. I had nothing to do with it, Chris. Nothing to do with it.
I love that. That morning you did that, I thought that you were joking.
No,
I didn't know that you didn't mean to say that.
I didn't mean to say that. No, it just came right out. Just a force of habit, I guess. Anyway, I promise you I won't do it again. Pardon me?
Where did you get that? Is that something y'all did at one time?
Yes. I hosted the Trading Post hotline for years when WFLO was AM and FM. Yeah, on the
How
AM
did that
side.
work?
It was just a call-in show like this is now, only you what you did was you had items and
you're basically the auctioneer.
If you have items you want to buy, sell, trade, rent, or give away, you give us a call. And so I took those calls for 45 minutes.
Wow.
Every weekday.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
And now you accidentally sometimes will say this is the Trading Post hotline.
Well, yeah, but I didn't. It just went.
It's probably ingrained deeply into your
Yes,
psyche.
it is. It is.
So I get it. But yeah.
And I a lot of times I'll say good afternoon.
Yeah.
I was trying to say good afternoon. But I'm training myself.
I didn't listen last week, but I heard that the Friday party went silent last Friday.
I don't know if that happened or not. Okay, moving on here. Moving on.
I was listening yesterday, so you can't fool me.
The thing is, John thinks I tampered with the Friday party. Like it was an intentional dig. Like I was waiting for a fight. He's nodding his head. He totally believes that. Like with all of his heart, all of his soul, and all of his being. He think I waited till 5 o'clock to cut cables with scissors and pliers, and just to tamper with the show. Not at all.
You asked him one morning if you could pick the music. You said you wanted to put some new wave on the Friday party.
I did want to put some new wave. One of these days I will actually be here for the Friday party. When John is away or taking a vacation, I want to step in and totally do something different and new with the Friday party. That John...
Did you do that? That didn't get to play?
No, I didn't do that. I actually had other things. I was kind of swamped that Friday, so I couldn't really take on the responsibility.
Fridays are busy days.
But I will make room in my schedule. Next time John takes off on a Friday, I will clear my calendar for doing the Friday party live. I don't care what I got to clear.
He might ask Chris to host it next time.
No.
Oh, I used to host a party.
That's true. That
Party.
is true, yeah.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
What did you play on
From
there?
5 to 6. I played all kinds of things, That was way back, though. That was lots of years ago. But I did a Friday night party.
Yeah.
Are you going to have to miss any time when you have your surgery on your wrist?
I don't think so. No, it's in and out. And the bad part is when I get my right wrist done, I won't be able to play tennis for about 6 weeks. And
well, because I was going to say if that happened, then Noah would be hosting the Sunday morning show.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Here's a theme from Goodfellas. No, I don't know.
Or Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
No, getting back to the surgery, I will not. I'll be here. So yeah, I'll be able to move my wrist and everything. I just won't be able to lift anything or hit the tennis ball or anything like that. But they're doing the left wrist first, so I probably can have a few more weeks of playing tennis.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, until the right one gets done. But thank
Noah,
you.
you think you'd like to bring back the Trading Post show? And
You know,
try
that is honestly, I mean,
No.
it sounds like a nightmare, but that is something that's right up my alley. Being an auctioneer type, being like, okay, so one $2 going once, $2 going twice.
It wasn't like
Sold.
that. Wasn't like
okay,
that.
it wasn't like that. It was just
No.
like informing people on
Yeah,
what's available.
well, with the coming of the internet
sure.
and
Yeah.
all of that, with all these sales places, like
Sure. eBay,
eBay,
Amazon. But I will
right.
say, some people are so lazy that they don't even want to list items on there, but they would rather call in and be like, hey, I got a Persian rug for sale, $2, or whatever, however much Persian rugs go for. But it takes work to list items on eBay, and then you got to pay taxes,
one
shipping
lady
fees.
called up and said she had a grandfather clock,
Mm.
Glenn Miller.
Now, that's what I'm talking about.
grandfather
Yeah.
clock for sale,
Classy.
and I couldn't wait to get off of the program,
Mm-hmm.
off the show, so that I could holler to Frances, and I got her number, and we got us the grandfather clock, and
Nice.
and actually made very good. We're friends with the Perkins.
Oh, very
They were a
nice.
couple. And so, she loved that clock, but she
Yep.
didn't want to move it all the way up to New Jersey. So, and I still have the clock, and it's working great.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but well, it got to the point to where we had a list, and would do the community calendar and stuff like that in between calls. It got to the point to where the same people were calling in, so that I had memorized their phone numbers, I had memorized what they had for sale and stuff like that. More people wanted to listen
Yeah.
rather than to call in.
That's interesting. I mean, it does sound like an interesting show just
It
to
was
listen.
an interesting show.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And you got to meet and talk with a lot of different people.
Yeah, you know what I think would be an interesting show? Like, if we had a therapist, like a licensed therapist in here, like
Oh my
taking
gosh.
callers.
Oh, and giving advice.
Yeah, giving advice to
I mean, you have Mr. Predicto right
Yeah,
there.
well, true, but he's not a licensed therapist by any means. Maybe he is.
all I'd
Let's
want.
let's ask him, Mr. Predicto. Are you a licensed therapist?
The answer you seek is yes.
Oh well, I'm so sorry. I was totally wrong on that.
Right. Oh my
Sorry,
goodness.
Mr. Predicto.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Where did y'all get Mr. Predicto from?
We had a caller send him in, drop him off actually, by our door. I wasn't there to pick up the package. I think John was, but truly an incredible piece of
oh,
technology.
it is. I just love it.
Yeah.
It's really great. Do you have a question for Mr. Predicto? Hello?
Yeah, I
What?
do. Yes,
you
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Okay, he's ready.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Predicto is. Oh, I forgot.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
No problem. Oh. Okay. All
You
right.
better cut him off.
I know.
Okay. Well, if it
only got
comes
so
back
much
to
magic.
you, if it comes back to you, then
Yeah.
we'll ask him again.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. that
Yeah,
sounds
I
good.
thought he was the caller. I thought you had something like you could almost tell that you really wanted to ask him a question. Then, poof.
Oh well.
I did.
Oh well. That's all right. So how are things in Hanover? How much rain did you get thus far?
Yesterday, a lot.
Well, my rain gauge said it was a little over 2 inches where I am, but I'm in the woods as well. So, what gets through the leaves and the trees and all that kind of stuff is basically what I can measure, and that was a couple of inches. So, but anyway, yeah. So the ground is pretty saturated right now,
Yeah.
and lots of people be mowing their yards this weekend, I'm sure.
Did you turn the emergency alert system back on?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, the emergency alert, everything is working fine. It better,
Yeah.
if not better.
If it ever happens again, you know who to blame. It's not going to happen again, though. It was a one-time thing. It sincerely, I apologize to John.
It was not intentional.
I sincerely apologize to John. He still doesn't believe me. It's. I don't know what I got to do. I don't know.
Mr. Predicto host the Friday party.
Have Mr. Predicto host the Friday party?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Well, we can ask him.
Do you want to ask him?
Yeah, ask
Okay.
him. Ask
You
him.
have to talk loud. All right, go ahead.
All right. Mr. Predicto, will
Mr.
you...
Predicto,
Oh,
would
sorry.
you like to host the Friday party?
You can rely on that.
Oh, whoa.
He does have a nice voice.
Yeah.
He does.
All right. Well, we've got a few minutes to go. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for calling. We appreciate your listening, and we appreciate, what you bring to our program.
Okay.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That was...
First time call.
No, that wasn't first. No, it's
not
Mr. Potato.
Potato guy. Yeah.
Potato
We got to
guy.
find
Yeah.
better names for these people.
I know.
This is
That's-
terrible.
I
Potato
know.
Man.
I know.
I mean, that name is so far, past what I originally intended it for it to be. When I said Mr. Potato, I did not mean that for that to stick.
Well, it's stuck.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take another call.
We do have another caller, so.
Good morning. You're on the Call Flo Show.
Why, Chris,
Oh, my goodness.
Fred.
and I ain't got long to talk. I'll fill you in on what's been going on the next call.
Please do. Give us a call back tomorrow, okay?
I had the shingles and got infection in them, and I've been through the loop.
Oh, my goodness.
I went to see you at one point out at Trinity, and or I guess it was Home Health, wherever you were staying anyway. And they told me that you'd gone home, and then I was going to call you. Then I got busy again. But anyway, it's so wonderful to hear from you. We've been a little concerned.
I've been trying for 15 minutes. Looked like my phone, it would ring a while trying to dial y'all, and then it would just hang up on me.
Well, that's because we were talking to somebody else, probably.
But I tell you, I like to die.
Oh, Fred.
They got infected, Chris, and I was in the rehab for 2 months, and then at the hospital altogether was 3 months.
My goodness. Where did you, where on your body did you have the shingles?
Around my neck and part of my shoulder.
Yeah, that's where I had mine. It's,
They said I had the worst case they think they'd ever seen.
oh, my goodness. Oh, well, listen, we want you to call back tomorrow, okay?
I'm going to try my best.
But call
I
out.
tell you, I've really had a time.
Yeah,
And
call.
the worst part, it ain't over yet. I'm still having shingle nerve pain.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you will have that for a long time.
Yeah. But I'll call you and tell you more about it tomorrow.
All right, now listen, call at about 8:45, okay?
Okay.
All right? All right, we'll talk to you.
Jesus, grace of the Lord, I'm here today.
I know, and thank the Lord you are. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'm calling y'all, too.
Oh,
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye,
Chris.
sweetie. Take care. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Oh, that's Fred.
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing better. Glad he's able to call up.
Yes.
Yeah, shingles is a
Yeah.
nasty.
I've had shingles. and-
Hopefully, I think I had the chicken pox shot, so I think I'm in the clear. I hope I'm in the clear.
You better hope so, because
Yeah.
that stuff is bad. All right, we are running a little bit late,
We
but
are,
that's okay. We thank our callers, and we'll be talking to everybody. I guess I'll be talking to John tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
indeed true.
All right. Enjoy your supper.
You as well, Chris.
Marry me shrimp.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.